Hello, Namibia, and welcome to your daily lunchtime show where we get to catch up on current events and headlines that are in the news. My name is Priska Anyolo, and you are watching NMH at 1 on this Monday afternoon. All right, so do stay tuned for a special documentary on the plight of people living in Walvis-based Twaloloka informal settlement, giving a unique insight into the housing crisis in Namibia. From today, the Namibia Media Holdings are sharing holiday discount vouchers for local travel worth a whopping 1 million Namibian dollars. Wow, even I'm excited. Each voucher is 1,000 Namibian dollars and 1,000 vouchers are up for grabs. So this is it. Simply answer the question on your screen in order to qualify for today's draw in NMH at 1. The question goes, can you see the Etosha pan from space? Yes or no? I'll repeat the question again. Can you see the Etosha pan from space? Is it yes or no? You must be older than 18 years old to win. Vouchers are non-transferable and only one voucher per person can be redeemed at this year's Namibia Tourism Expo and Motor Show, which will take place from 4th to the 7th of November 2020 this year at SKW in Windhoek. NMH at 1 will draw our first winner at 5 o'clock today, so good luck to all of you who are participating. And do remember that your vote counts. So now we move on to the next segment, which is the supplementary registration of voters for November's regional council and local authority elections, which started today countrywide. NMH's dailies today include the Electoral Commission's insert, showing you exactly how the registration process works, what documents you require, and where you can register. Make sure to do your democratic duty that is, and like I said before, your vote does count. At the end of the show, we will take the usual look at newspapers, but first, let's look at the general data about COVID-19 and the number of people that are quarantined in each region as on the Friday of 4th of September. Namibia now has 8,685 confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, with a recovery rate of 44%. To date, 89 fatalities have been recorded. By Friday, 9,122 people have been discharged from quarantine since March, with 1,460 individuals still in quarantine. The largest groups are in Commerce with 315, followed by 298 in Irongo, 250 in Oshikoto, and 246 people quarantined in the Karas region. Groups of larger than 50 were still in quarantine in the Zambezi, Omaheke, and Hardap regions. A total of 110 people admitted into quarantine on Friday. Of these individuals, 76 started with quarantine in the Omaheke region. Other admissions were as follows: 12 in Oshikoto, 9 in Kunene, 6 in Hardap, and 2 new entries in Omusati. Please do remember to stay safe. Now moving on to our first video insert for today. On Sunday, the 26th of July, a devastating fire swept through the Twaloloka informal settlement in Walvis Bay. The words Twaloloka means we are tired. In the following special documentary with a short foreword by journalist Leandria Lowe, our Irongo team tells the story of the people of Twaloloka. Do take a look.
Stepped up to my plate, thought you were gonna score. Now I'm taking what is left of you and mopping up the floor. I told you you were making a big mistake. Now what you gonna do when the damn breaks? Oh no! Don't make me say I told you so. Don't make me say I told you so. Don't make me say I told you so. Don't make me.
Documentary basically tells the story of the people of Twaloloka throughout the years. Now, the 17-minute documentary has accounts of Olga Barisimos, Nehale Mipangana, who are the committee members representing the interests of the Twaloloka people. Now, we show you footage of how the people of Twaloloka lived before the fire, the fire and the aftermath. We also spoke to Walvis Bay Fire Chief Dennis Besson about their account of the night of the fire. Now, there's a personal account of myself where I explained just going through all the emotions, experiencing the loss of people losing their homes and their belongings in the fire. Now, it's more than a month now since the fire, and it destroyed 153 homes, and it killed a 1-year-old boy in the process, which is absolutely heartbreaking. Now, currently the Twaloloka people are housed in tents in an area behind where they were initially housed. Now, the Walvis Bay Municipality and the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development is currently hard at work to assist these people and place them in structures that is not as flammable as shacks which they were living in. Now, they're also busy with a plan to decongest various settlements in Walvis Bay, in and around Walvis Bay. So we're hoping to see that happening soon, because this fire definitely just showed the huge crisis, the huge housing crisis that Namibia is currently dealing with. Now, this documentary couldn't have been possible without the help of my colleague, Irene Mary van der Walt. She helped told the story of where the Twaloloka people started, their journey over the 5 years up until where they are currently housed right now. The Twaloloka informal settlement was established in 2016 when homeless residents set up structures illegally in Tutaleni, Kwisopmont. After numerous clashes with the police and the local authority of Walvis Bay, due to them occupying land illegally, they were placed on a piece of land in Tutaleni referred to as Twaloloka. The group was evicted twice from privately owned land and even started sleeping in the sand dunes until the municipality allowed them to temporarily settle on this piece of land called Twaloloka, which means we are tired in Oshivambo.
Twaloloka started 2016 March in front of Gara Primary School. I am the co-founder of Twaloloka. Actually, that time it was not Twaloloka. It has been called homeless because we were tired. But 2016, I asked the councillors, the regional councillors, the mayor for the help. When they refused, we have been, because we were in that process for eviction. I take my people to the backside of Nara Primary School, Tutaleni. That's where Master Nehale joined us with the name of Twaloloka.
In 2017, the Walvis Bay Municipality lodged an ex parte court application against the land grabbers. This came after the squatters erected tents on the plot between Granite and Atlas Streets in Kwisopmont. With hepatitis E already rife in the settlement of Twaloloka, the residents were especially worried about the devastating effects COVID-19 could have on them. Ek sien ja.
Ja, kyk net. Hoe slap ons?
Presies, nou wat raai u aan moet gedoen word om hierdie te vermy?
Ons wil net aan munisipaliteit gaan die dinge se si ons dinges nie, ons plek nie. Altyd ons wil net 'n bietjie, daar is 'n kans aan agter net dat dit net help om dit mekaar uit asseblief.
Ja, hoeveel mense is julle omtrent wat hier rondom bly?
Ek skat met kyk by een kamer. Ons slap miskien 6 mense. Die dinges is klein, maar ons slap met een kamer, miskien 6 mense of 7 mense. No, ek sal nie die getal sê nie.
Ja. Sjoe, soos maar nou 'n bietjie moeilik nou, veral nou met almal wat nou by die huis is en al die kinders wat by die huis is.
Ja, hier is kinders.
Then, on 26 July 2020, tragedy struck the residents of Twaloloka after a fire raged through the informal settlement, taking the life of a toddler and destroying 153 homes. At 7:30 the evening, the Walvis Bay municipal sirens went off 3 times, indicating a fire. Anyone traveling on the B2 road between Walvis Bay and Swakopmund would have seen the massive flames engulfing Twaloloka. The Walvis Bay Fire Brigade was battling tirelessly to get the flames under control, while residents were trying to salvage any of their belongings from their shacks. About 3 hours after the fire, onlookers started pelting the fire brigade, the municipality, water tankers and the media with stones. The police reservists had to calm the situation by firing rubber bullets. A firefighter said they had to extinguish the fire while a group of onlookers armed with pangas and okapis surrounded them in a threatening manner. About 3 hours after the fire, onlookers started pelting the fire brigade, the municipality, water tankers and the media with stones. The police reservists had to calm the situation by firing rubber bullets. A firefighter said they had to extinguish the fire while a group of onlookers armed with pangas and okapis surrounded them in a threatening manner. The situation has gone completely out of control here at Twaloloka. It's okay. It's okay. The next day on Monday morning, people searched through the ashes for any items that might have been spared from the flames. In the far left corner of the settlement, a white blanket was the only sign that a 1-year-old boy died in the fire. The Walvis Bay Fire Brigade explained that determining the exact cause of the fire would be almost impossible as the scene was disturbed by onlookers and residents. A candle in the shack where the little boy died might have caused the fire, but this is not conclusive.
The Walvis Bay Fire Brigade was called out last night at about 19:32, just after 7:30. We could manage to properly dispatch out of the station just before 19:40. The first crew that went out with 2 trucks and our tanker that we normally use to assist fire trucks and to provide fire trucks with additional water in case we do not have sufficient water or enough water, or we don't have hydrants in the facility. Then this fire tanker can immediately provide water if need be. The firefighters, immediately when we arrived at the scene, we noticed that it is a challenge to reach the fires because people parked vehicles in the roads. People were all over the scene, and they made it very difficult for the firefighters to deploy firefighting equipment and to get fire trucks as close as possible to the fires. Firefighters immediately started to tackle the fires. What made it also very difficult for us, and which remained a challenge for us, was the fact that we could not implement a proper strategy because of the fact that we could not deploy the vehicles properly in order to execute our plan. So we were battling against people, trying to keep firefighters away from fighting the fires. And then we had some instances where we were thrown at with boulders. Some of the fire hoses were cut, and firefighters were just veered off to get to the equipment. Realized that we cannot perform our duties properly if we do not have the necessary protection. And we were very fortunate to have our Namibian police there. We had the Namibian army, and we can only, with their protection, we could have gone into certain places and put the fires out. Without these people, it would have been much more disastrous than it was last night. If I can call it like that, I think 2 of our guys were assaulted by bystanders. And to come back to what you have mentioned, yes, it was a battle first against the bystanders and then secondly to get the fire contained and to put the fire out. We tried a lot to interact with the people, to question them, but apparently there was a candle involved, a mother that was making use of a candle, and according to the bystanders, that could have been the possible cause of the fire. Yes, it is not finally concluded, but apparently that was the case. It is internationally, this is law for any firefighting organization, to keep your fire trucks at all times full and parked with water. There is no such a rule. The only time that any fire truck is without its water, it is when this fire truck has been taken out of the fleet and this fire truck is now under repair, or it has been written off. But there is no such a thing that a fire truck can ever be without water in the fire station. You can imagine the moment we get called on, that fire truck must immediately respond to a fire. And you can also imagine for us to now go to a hydrant and fill up a truck, then we would have wasted already 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So I just want to correct that one. That will never ever happen. It hasn't happened before in the history of any fire brigade. There is no such a thing that a fire truck is standing in a fire chute without water. Have a fire hydrants close to, and we also ensure that we have fire hydrants. Yes, we did have last night. We could have utilized it better if we had a chance to enter these areas and put our connect our fire trucks to the fire hydrants. The first thing to everyone, please make sure that you know your emergency number. Fire Brigade's emergency number is 0819-224 Walvis Bay. Then secondly, please people, make sure that all of us make way for the fire trucks in the first place to reach the scene, and then secondly, when they arrive on the scene, that nobody is in the way of the fire brigade. This is one of our biggest problems. And then I would also like to ask everyone to be patient during this trying times that we have all over the world, and in Namibia in particular. We really need to be patient, and we really need to assist each other wherever we need to do so.
Now, here at the scene, trying to cover the fire, trying to inform our people about what's happening here at Twaloloka. I was totally oblivious of what's happening around because I was just focusing on the fact that people's belongings are in flames, in absolute flames. And I just stood here and tears started cascading down my face because I just thought that this could have been me at the end of the day. This could have been, I'm going home to my bed and to my home. People have to sleep out in the cold that night. And with the arrival of the police reservist here on scene, firing rubber bullets, with onlookers pelting everyone around them with rocks, I had to ditch a few rocks at the end of the day as well. And that night I couldn't sleep because I thought about what could have happened, what could have been, and about the absolute devastation here at Twaloloka. I mean, it's our people that have to suffer like this. It's our people that have to sleep out in the cold. It's our people that lost everything, just gone in a second. For about a week, all I saw is the fire raging through Twaloloka. I couldn't contain my emotions the next day when I saw where the little boy burnt to death. Because I'm a mother myself, and just thinking about that is absolutely heartbreaking. So, although the people of Twaloloka have moved from here, and although there is new prospects at the end of the day, I don't think any one of us can walk away from this and not think back and just think about all the sadness, the heartbreak, and the devastation that struck these people of Twaloloka.
152 seks het afgebrand.
Sure.
So op die huidige oomblik, ons wag nog van onze kanselaars enige ding. Ons is nie gesê nie van hier af vorentoe wat sal gebeur of hoe nie.
En u het ook hier gebly.
Ja, ek het ook 'n ghetto daar selfs as 'n komitee-leier.
En dit was u se ghetto ook in die brand?
Nee, my kan net 7 ghettos is in die 152.
Sure.
Ja.
Sure. En meerderheid mense het almal verloor.
Mense het almal verloor.
Alles.
En die ghetto, as ons kan skat, in 'n ghetto, daar bly 6, 7, 8 mense. In een ghetto, daar moet jy imagine hoeveel mense is nog sonder huis. Soos nou, die mense vra vir ons as komitees, wat sê onze kanselaars? Maar onze kanselaars sê ons niks.
Ja, hulle wag nou ja.
Ja, so ons staan en wag, wat is. Ons is nog 5 jaar by Twaloloka.
Baie lank.
Ja.
Kom praat saam met my,
Ja,
kom
kom,
praat
kom,
saam met my.
kom.
Ja, asseblief kom praat saam met my. Vertel vir ons hoe voel julle?
No,
Oh,
I can't even say because I can't even say anything because this is a hell. Yeah? And we have been crying. We are writing letters. We are only saying, okay, the time is coming. We are even already informed, okay, let's people be moved apart. They are only saying, there is no way. Now, what is this? They must give us a solution. Where are we going? Nothing to eat. People are retrenching. They are not even working.
what?
No, even the clothes we don't have. We are waiting their solution to tell us
What we want from here,
what we want here.
coming future is we want our own heirs.
We want our own elf.
From
What we
here,
want.
they must
From here,
allocate
they
us
must
in our-
allocate us
With enough space.
with enough space with an elf.
For each and
If we
every
are moving
household,
from
we
each and
say,
every house,
yeah,
and electricity and water.
please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Assistance from all over the country poured in to assist victims of the devastating fire. Individuals, charity organizations, private companies, and the government assisted the residents with basic necessities such as food, clothes, mattresses, and tents. The affected residents were placed temporarily on a piece of land behind Twaloloka, where they are currently housed in tents. The settlement was also renamed to Otwea, which means we are here, we have arrived. The Walvis Bay municipality says they are exploring the possibility of using a piece of land belonging to the National Housing Enterprise NHE and which was earlier identified for temporary decongestion to permanently resettle the residents of Twaloloka. The municipality is fast-tracking the process to allow those currently accommodated in tents to be moved as soon as possible. Apart from the relocation of Twaloloka residents, 500 residents would be relocated to Farm 37, while 192 families will move to another piece of land owned by the Walvis Bay municipality. The residents said they are satisfied, although their lives have been disrupted by this fire. They say from where they were asking, God, hear our cry, to we are tired, and now finally we have arrived.
And that was the heartbreaking story and documentary of the former settlement called Twaloloka that has now been changed to a different name, which is truly a good thing indeed. And now we move on to the newspaper articles of today. We take a glance at the newspaper articles for today. And leading the Namibian Sun today is a report at the St. Joseph Roman Catholic School on the northern outskirts of Windhoek. Late last night, a new proclamation was published about the phased reopening of schools, which prevented private schools from resuming face-to-face classes for all learners from today already. Republican has a striking lead photo of a whale that beached close to Henties Bay. The Afrikaans Daily's lead story explains government's position on the cost of COVID-19 isolation facilities at Walvis Bay. Today's Allgemeine Zeitung leads with the registration of voters for the November elections. The Namibian reports on the completion of the Anti-Corruption Commission's probe into fish core, as reported at a court appearance of the fish rot accused. The Independent English Daily leads with the Namibia's plans to access a vaccine for the coronavirus as soon as it becomes available. New Era also reports on the fish rot investigation, as well as the SWAPO party's decision to change its constitution in order to prevent members from competing in elections as independent candidates or on any other ticket. We'll go for a quick ad break, but I'll be right back with more news on our daily newspapers off the inside pages. And continuing with our news stories for today, the Namibian Sun reports on 24 million Namibian dollars allegedly not accounted for as part of servicing land for housing at Walvis Bay. Republican tells the story of 44 hippos that are stranded in the mud pools of the Linyati River in the Zambezi region. This tragedy strikes repeatedly in this part of the larger Kavango Delta. Allgemeine Zeitung reports on good spring rains received over the weekend over many parts of the country. The Namibia unique love story couple that dated for 3 decades before they were finally married recently. According to New Era, some students are getting legal advice where the non-tuition fees funded by the NASAF may be used to purchase laptops on students' behalf rather than allowing them to spend this money according to their own needs. And that is it for today. I do wish you a pleasant Monday ahead and a great week ahead as well. I've been your host, Priska Anyolo, and thank you so much for watching NMH at 1. Do stay tuned for the weather. Goodbye.